Page 44, Heart and Soul. A very well-known song, very old song. 4/4 time. We're still in the key of C major, using all the white keys. Let's take this one hand at a time, because it's got some moving around and eighth notes, and you're starting with third finger on C in the right hand, so it's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See, there's an eighth. 1 and that swing the eighths, I'll come back to that. I'll talk about that later. Just right now, it's 1 and 2 and then they went third finger. I don't recommend that. Oh, please don't do that. Go ahead and use fifth finger on the first E, this measure 3, E, and then third finger. Remember, when we have repeated notes in piano, we take advantage of the repeated notes a lot of times to change hand positions. So you don't need to change hand positions here. Just play it, stay here, and then change hand positions. 2, and then go on. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they want you to come up during the rest here. Well, you can. There's other fingerings we could use, but this is fine. During the rest, you come out 1 and then cross over. If you can do the C major scale, and you should be working on it because we've already introduced C major scale here, and I gave you that lecture a long time ago, so I'm assuming you can do the C major scale by now. This crossing over is in the scale. So if you can do the scale, this is easy. If you haven't been doing the scale, you might struggle with this a little. 1 and 2 and 3. Then measure 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and. See, again, you can take out the tie and play all the notes to help you out if you need to. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But then once you get it, put the tie back in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. And you do that some more. On measure 11, they have that 3 there again. 5 on the first one and then 3. It's the same as what you had on page 44. Now, let's drop down to measure 13. You're here. And again, they have you on this fingering. They want you to come up again. I want to show you another finger you can try. I mean, the fingering in the book is fine, but I just like to reach up on this one. And here, I'm just in this position. And then on measure 16, then I come down and I use fifth finger again. I don't have to cross over the thumb at all. And then I just reach up. However, you can use the fingering in the book if you want. See, there are a lot of different fingering styles in piano. Different teachers use different ones. They teach different ones. I've had different teachers and they taught different fingering styles. But the one that had the most influence on me was one of the principles of fingering is you don't move the hand if you don't have to, and you don't cross over the thumb if you don't have to, although there's exceptions to that. So in measures 14, if I can just play it all in a hand position, then that's what I'm going to do. And measure 16, same thing. I have a rest, I can move. I'm just not crossing over the thumb is all because every time you cross over the thumb, you change hand positions. Again, I don't change hand position if I can help it. Well, on page 44, we could get the same thing in measure 6 here. Instead of, the problem is we're going all the way down. I can't get all of that in one hand position. I have to cross over the thumb anyway. So if I'm going to do that, I'll just use the fingering in the book. That's all right. Left hand, starting out here, second finger. 1, 2, half notes. Isn't this fun? Let's go down to the last line. Measure 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. It plays with the right hand. When the right hand plays that D, the left hand plays. Measure 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 4 and a 1, or triple at 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 1, 2. And those 4 notes need to be even. It's important. You get it again in measure 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. measure 13. You ought to be good at it by now. And then they want you to come up with a 5. And they want you to do this. A 5, 3, 1, and move. Yuck. No. I'm going to do, this is measure 15. I'm going to do a 5 and reach up and use 4th finger. Then a 2. And now you can come up with a 3, 2, 1. The 2's just coming up. The 3 and the 1 are pretty much there. Here. So it's, again, measure 15. 1, 2, 3. Here. And then you can, if you want, use thumb again. Or 2nd finger, it doesn't matter. Because then you gotta rest, you move up. Here and then the C. Remember, 2 ledger lines below bass clef is a C. Just memorize it. Put the hands together. This should be interesting. Here. Again, I'm just trying to get the hands to work together. These to go together. And again. Measure 8. 1 and 2 and. So both hands play at the same time. 1 and 2 and 3 and. And I didn't point it out before, but on measure 9, you can change to a 3rd finger anytime you're playing these C's, because you're going to need 3rd finger in the next measure. You just will change. You can also change in the rest. You can wait for the rest to come down. Out of habit, I typically change on repeated notes. So measure 9, it's I use 3rd finger because then I'm already there. So you work out, get the hands together, and then go back and get rid of the hesitations. The speed is not important, but it's got to be a steady beat. Then we have the articulation. As staccatos, I'm going to hinge at the wrist with short staccatos. Connect this left hand. Just connect it all the way through. These slurs in the right hand, if you want, go ahead and connect those to the next measure. Connect that. Into the 2nd line, I connect that. I wouldn't split it. No, connect these together. So measure 4. The 3rd line. Connect that. Connect that all together. I disagree with their slurring. The Faber has been doing that. No. Connect it all together. There's an accent there on measure 8. And then a staccato. You can go ahead and separate here and here. It's a little silence there. You put in the slurring and that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily have to follow their slurring. Listen to it, and to me, it just makes more sense to connect a lot of these where they've got different slurs. Well, you don't always lift out before and after a slur anyway. But listen to the music on that rather than following their slurs. Blech. Then the dynamics. Well, that applies to the melody. It's the right hand. Sort of soft again. The left hand needs to be very soft. And then measure 4, you're going to go up to moderately loud. Don't get moderately loud to measure 5. The left hand's still very soft. Then that accented note on measure 8 takes it up a notch, and that one note is going to be loud in the right hand. The left hand will be a little louder, but it'll still be softer in the right hand. they don't tell you here. I think it's an error. But on measure 12, they want you to crescendo again up to moderately loud. Well, I'm already moderately loud. I've been moderately loud since measure 5. So I think on measure 9, there should be another MP there. You should go back down to moderately soft at measure 9. That way, when you get to measure 12, you can go back up to moderately loud. Then on measure 16, you see the little hairpin at the end of the measure. You go back down to moderately soft. And then moderately soft here, and there's a retardando. And the last chord is soft, both hands together. The song ended when the words ended. So this other part is just a tag on the end. You could actually play both hands about the same here if you wanted to. Bring the left hand up to the same loudness. Here, doesn't that sound wonderful? And then here. This is like a blues chord. You get a lot of these. It's a 7th chord. You get a lot of them in blues. As far as speed goes, it's just a moderate speed, but it's the swing that gets you. Swing. 3 different types of music, or genres of music. Swing, blues, and jazz. I mean, there's more, but I'm talking about these 3. When you get 8th notes in them, you automatically swing the 8th notes. It's the style of that type of music. They don't have to tell you to. You just do it. And even in the tempo, they give you a swing rhythm. That tells me also I'm going to swing them. This is a kind of a bluesy swing piece. So to do that, we actually swing the counting. We don't go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You swing the counting and you play it as you count it. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And because you're only swinging the counting on 8th notes, that's all you swing. It sounds a lot like triplets. I mean, triplets and swing rhythms go right in there. Because this 1 and 2 and 3 is not a dotted rhythm, and it's not exactly a triplet rhythm. It's felt. But sometimes the short notes are shorter than other times. They're not always the same. So triplets just fit right in. I mean, it feels like I could be playing triplets. Triplet, 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 triplet. But I don't have to. I just feel the swing. But the triplets just fit. Now, they've added a little bit of pedal at the end. And that's the idea is we need to help the pedal help us hold the notes down because we're moving around too much. And we want it to sound, and we can't hold the notes down with our hands. We could, but I won't get into it. So we're going to use the pedal to help us out. And it's only used at the end. Don't use it anywhere else because it would smear it up and it would cover up the staccatos. So I'm going to push the pedal down right after I play the note in measure 17 here, and then keep it down. Change it after I play the notes in measure 18. And at the end, after the fermata, everything comes up together. And that's it. That's all the pedal you need here. Now there is a little bit of pedal on measure 15 here. I disagree with it. If you finger it the way I said to, you don't need the idea with their pedaling is to help your left hand get all these notes without too much of a. That you don't need it if you finger that. This you don't need pedal there, but if you want to pedal it, that's fine. Just push the pedal down right after you play the E, and lift it up after you play the note. Measure 16, the chord, right there. As I said, though, I don't think you need pedal there, but that's enough. Ultimately it's up to you and what you like hearing, and do you like the pedal or not. I'd like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do the dynamics. I can't slow down at the end. I'll pedal the last 2 measures. I'm not going to pedal that other measure. I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just try it. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2,